Hello and welcome everyone to the first session of the 2020-2021 iEARN Project Book Release Party. At this event, we're really excited to introduce the new iEARN Project Book and give you a preview of iEARN's exciting menu of global projects for this year. You'll be hearing directly from project facilitators from around the world about their iEARN projects, some of which are new this year and others which are continuing from last year. Before we begin, we just wanted to go over some of the features in the Zoom webinar space so you can navigate easily and participate. When you're typing a comment or a question in the chat box, please set it to all attendees and all panelists and attendees. We encourage lots of lively discussion in the chat box throughout. Please introduce yourself and share in the chat box where you are joining from if you haven't already. Also, please type in the chat box your questions and comments or in the Q&A, and we will try to best answer them as we go along or at the end. We are recording this webinar and we'll share it in a follow-up email to all of you. However, feel free to visit our website, YouTube, or Facebook page to watch it again. My name is Nicole Weitzner, and I'm joined by my colleagues Yusuf Razak and Jai Rogers, who are working behind the scenes to help this event run smoothly. Also pictured are our colleagues Connie Rensink and Jennifer Russell on the education team at iEARN USA. We are thrilled to see so many people here from all over the world today. We see people from India, West Virginia, Israel, and so many more places. So we're so excited to have you all join us. Thank you. Here are the topics we'll be covering. We'll be giving a brief overview of iEARN for those who are not familiar with iEARN. Then we'll introduce the new project book. And next you'll be hearing from project facilitators about 5 different iEARN global projects. Finally, we'll address any questions we did not have the chance to earlier answer in the event. For those of you new to iEARN, I'd love to share briefly about the work that we do. The International Education and Resource Network, iEARN, is the world's largest K-12 educational network that enables schools, teachers, and students to connect online and collaborate on projects that tie classroom learning to real-world issues. iEARN was established more than 30 years ago in 1988 as a pilot project between 12 schools in New York and 12 schools in Moscow during the height of the Cold War. In the first collaborative project, students worked in English and Russian on curriculum-based projects designed by participating teachers. They used the technology available at the time, before the internet, to communicate with one another and build friendships. Our international network has grown exponentially since 1988, as has our ability to connect online and collaborate. Now, in 2020, we can say that iEARN has brought together around 2 million youth in 140 countries around the world. There are nearly 100 projects in iEARN. All are designed and facilitated by teachers and students to fit their curriculum and classroom needs and schedules. iEARN projects are interdisciplinary and connect learners across different age groups and different subject areas, including creative and language arts, social sciences, and STEM. Teachers select an online project and look at how they can integrate it into their classroom. They connect, as do students, in online forum spaces to meet each other and collaborate on projects with classrooms around the world. In addition to connecting students learning with local issues and meeting specific curriculum needs, every project has to answer the question, how will this project improve the quality of life on the planet? This vision and purpose is the glue that holds iEARN together, enabling participants to become global citizens who make a difference by collaborating with their peers around the world. In 2015, iEARN mobilized its global network to realize the world's new 17 Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, a set of targets relating to future international development. So through collective learning and action, youth are making a difference through iEARN projects that meet the global SDGs, such as ending poverty, protecting the planet, and ensuring prosperity for all. Today, we are thrilled to release the 2020-2021 iEARN Project Book. This year, we have 3 new projects and 94 continuing projects. An exciting feature we'd like to highlight is that this year's project book is a flip book, which allows you to easily turn pages and explore all the projects seamlessly. So as you see here, we're going to flip a few pages so you can see how that works. As I mentioned, there are nearly 100 projects for you ready to join today. We hope this brief preview of some of the great projects available to you this year will get you excited to jump in Write in and join them. So without much further ado, I'd like to introduce our first presenters. They are Yoko Takagi and Kathy Boziak, who are co-facilitators of the project GOMI on Earth. Yoko joins us from Japan and first joined the iEARN community in 1996. Kathy joined us from the United States. She's a science teacher and has been part of the iEARN community for the last several years. Yoko and Kathy, I'll now hand it to you in just a moment to present your project, GOMI on Earth.
Okay. GOMI on Earth started 2016, about 4 years ago. As an ordinary housewife, I put daily trash on certain days a week, sorting out burned, unburned, metals, cans, big ones, small ones, according to city office guide without any questions. One day, I wondered where they go next, how they end up at the as a GOMI life, in the ground, in the water, or in the air, or somewhere else. Then I started my research at city office or incinerator office and phase 2, world polypura and microplastic problems in the oceans. It was exciting research for me to follow GOMI journey. I want iEARN children and students to research GOMI life as I experienced. This is how GOMI on Earth started 4 years ago.
I am GOMI. People say I'm garbage or trash in English. No matter what language you speak, I'm still GOMI. I'm still trash. This project is about the long story of GOMI on Earth and what we can do about it. So that's how we start out. The description for us when you go to our site, and it's an important thing to sort of catch people's attention and to make them understand that this is something that we all have to be thinking about. And so that's why the topic title of my slide says GOMI speaks to us all. And it doesn't really matter whether it's somebody from India or whether it's somebody from the United States, or if you look at the bottom of my slide, any of the list of countries that participate in this program. It's something that we all need to be thinking about, and something that we all need to be working on. So we address the goals, the SDG goals 11 and 14. So we look at things like sustainable cities and sustainable oceans and conservation of oceans, and how we can bring our students locally and internationally into a collaborative mindset that they can take care of what's going on, because they are the future, and they're going to be the ones that have to live with ultimately what doesn't or does happen. So if you look at the slide again, the students start out as detectives. And as you're thinking about this project, think about, I'm going to tell you different categories in here, but you can stop and start this at any one part. You know, the initial beginning is detectives. That's very local and very personal. My students are involved right in the middle at the moment of looking at how much trash they generate on their own. And then they'll take that out into their families, look at that, and then they'll look at what's going on in their community. They will look at, like Yoko said, they'll look at where does that go? Once it's thrown away, most people just think it's gone. And so my students and any students that are involved in this will look at where does that ultimately go? Who takes care of it? Does it end up in a landfill so that ultimately the thought is that it decays, or does it end up in the ocean? Once they finish that, and if that's where you want to stop, then that's fine. It's completely up to you. The next step, if you follow the sequence, would be for the students to become involved with the reality of GOMI. And then this becomes much more of a global collaborative thing. So they will have introduced themselves in the beginning to other students around the world and shared some similarities and some differences. And now they're going to start looking at how they can come up with ideas to implement in their own communities to take care of the problem of GOMI. The third part, they become that activist. And they can do something as simple as talk to other people. They can make posters, or they can truly become activists. And they can then do the last piece, which is to actually create a campaign. my students a number of years ago decided that they wanted to be part of the international program that was called Earth Hour. And so they worked very hard on GOMI on Earth and turned that into a campaign at the end where they ended up actually going and speaking with our city officials to get them to turn the power off and all the lights off for Earth Hour. And so that's happened for the past several years. This is really user friendly, you know, and I think when Yoko and I were working on it, that was one of the things that we tried to make happen. This is not a normal semester. It's not a normal school year in almost every country. This is things that the students, or these are things that the students can do on their own. They can do them at home, and then they can report back into an individual teacher. You can Zoom with them to bring them all back together to talk about what they've learned and what they would like to do. If it's a hybrid setting where you have students in class, that just makes it all the better because you can actually do some of the collaboration physically face to face. But it's something that's not going away, and this is something that needs to be brought up to our students and something that's very important. And I threw some statistics or some pieces of information on there for you. So one of the things that I start my students out with when we begin this is sort of a true or false game. And this is just an example of some of the things I put on there, and they have to tell me if it's true or false. And of course, they're all true, but they don't catch on to that until we start talking about it afterwards. So for example, students are living in a world today that's currently full of 8.3 billion tons of plastic. And plastic is not a heavy item usually, so that kind of gives you an idea of how much plastic there is. The thing that, the one that bothered me was 2 million plastic bags are used every single minute. And unfortunately, that's a good chunk of that 2 million are in the United States. And then the last one that bothers my students the most is that the average person eats 70,000 microplastics each year. And so when you think about plastic or you think about GOMI, it breaks down, but does it ever really break down? And so particularly with the plastics, it just breaks down into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, but then that becomes part of your food chain. So as far as how you can present these things, so I couldn't get the video to load, but we actually literally put on a fashion show that was out of things that typically would have been considered trash. And you can see the staircase behind the two students on the left. They set up, this was a practice picture, but they set up an actual walkway. They had music that they walked into, and each of the musics had to match the outfit that they created. And so the young ladies in class were the designers, and they had to collaborate with their partner, who was whatever gentleman they chose, and then create an outfit for them to wear. And they modeled those outfits. And then they had to talk about and do a write-up. Now this is high school, so this was pretty pretty detailed, but they had to do a write-up of the pieces of materials that they used and what would have happened to them in a GOMI situation where it was just thrown away. But you could do this with little kids as well. They could just design hats, or they could make, just about anything. They could make Christmas ornaments. They could do all kinds of different things. We just chose a TRASHION show because it got the information out there into the community, and we invited the community in to watch the show, and then they voted on who had the best use of their trash, for a better way to say it. So anyway, so that's GOMI, and yeah, I think please join. Once you get involved, you're going to find out you don't want to stop being involved. So I'm open for questions on the chat box, or Nicole, if you want to throw something out and open.
Thank you so much, Yoko and Kathy, for your inspiring presentation. It's really exciting to see how creative students can get with these TRASHION shows and how easily they can make a difference. The next presentation features a new project this year, World of Music, and I'm delighted to introduce Ishani Kotwal and Sunita Bhagwat, who join us from India. Ishani has studied classical Indian music for 15 years and teaches Chinese and French. Sunita has been involved with iEARN since 1999 and is the country coordinator for the iEARN Center in India. I will hand it to Ishani in just a moment.
Hi, this is Ishani. Thank you, Nicole, for the introduction. Welcome everyone, and extremely excited to present this project this year. It's called World of Music. So Dr. Sunita Bhagwat, who is the country coordinator of iEARN India, and Ishani Kotwal, myself, I am into Indian classical music for the past 15 years. We will be the facilitators for this project. So this project is aligned with the 3 Sustainable Development Goals, which, as you can see, are good health and well-being, partnership for global goals, and peace, justice, and strong institutions. So the important features for this project, this project basically attempts to bring the world closer through music, and the participants all over the world can come together, and at the end they can create a wonderful musical composition together, which is supposed to be the expected outcome. Why is this project unique, and what does it make it unique? The first thing that the educators and the students can participate solo, or they can participate together. The second thing is that educators and students who are interested in music, singing, any playing of any instrument, or even technical sound technicians can participate in this project. So singers, writers, musicians, and even video makers are welcome to join. Showcasing individual talent, introduction of participants, and presenting own regional and traditional music by the participants. Then discussions over cross-country music and their origin, evolution, and similarities. And eventually coming down to preparing for a video or an online concert are all the possible activities that can be done through this project. We have 10 wonderful countries participating, and we expect to see more joining in. So as I said, and as I mentioned, the expected outcomes can be an online concert, which can happen over video conferencing, or we can meet on Zoom or any kind of video conferencing and have an exhibition together. So the pictures that you can see on the left are actually from a previous similar kind of experience that we had through online video that we created. These are participants all over the world, and they were sitting in their houses singing and playing instruments, and then we made the video together. You will see the video as a sample after the presentation as well. Yes, so thank you very much, and if you have any questions, you can ask as well, or you can feel free to write to us as well.
The video which you are about to see is a collaborative effort of 2020 NESI students and iEARN India. The instrumentalists and the singers coordinated with iEARN team through Zoom and sent their recordings via Google Drive. This video was possible due to the keen interest of the students.
So this was a video that was created by the participants, and we are looking at something similar. This song is a famous Bollywood song, and they sang it, and the other participants played the instruments. So we will be having Zoom calls and videos calls during the project, and this is how we are expecting to have this project together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ishani and Sunita. Your project is such a wonderful addition to the iEARN project family, and hearing those young people singing and making music together just brought tears to my eyes. We really encourage everyone to join and give their students the opportunity to experience the magic of music. Next, we will hear from Maria de Los Angeles Serrano Islas, who joins us from Mexico. She's a professor of arts and sciences for design and engages students from Colombia, Costa Rica, Mexico, Peru, and Portugal in collaborative projects. Maria will present another new project in iEARN this year. It's called Expresa lo que sientes, which is express what you feel. This project is conducted in Spanish, and Maria will present in Spanish as well. We will share the translations to English. And now I will hand it to Maria in just a moment. Maria, por favor, en un minuto cuando está lista.
Gracias, buenos días. Bueno, Expresa lo que sientes es un proyecto colaborativo de red escolar en que se ha presentado únicamente una sola vez, en primavera de 2020, y bueno, tuvimos inscritos 1.565 alumnos, entre ellos estuvieron participando Costa Rica y Perú. El proyecto se sustenta en los ODS 3 y 4, que están relacionados con la salud y el bienestar, y con una educación de calidad respectivamente. El proyecto se crea con el propósito fundamental de generar conciencia en los alumnos y docentes sobre lo que son las emociones a través de actividades que los conducen a incentivarlas, a conocer las propias, a identificar la de los demás y su influencia con el entorno. Es decir, lo que nosotros pretendemos es que los alumnos reconozcan y gestionen sus emociones, sobre todo en situaciones de emergencia o de cuestiones sanitarias como lo es el COVID-19 y la nueva normalidad. El proyecto se fundamenta en las asignaturas de formación cívica y ética, y también tenemos un cruce curricular entre las asignaturas de arte y español. Esto con la finalidad de que los alumnos identifiquen sus emociones, las expresen a través del arte o de la música o en ambas, y que también puedan identificar las emociones de personajes. Estamos sugiriendo algunas lecturas donde los personajes se enfrentan a varias situaciones emocionales y en la que hacemos que ellos escriban narraciones sobre esas emociones que han identificado o con las que se han identificado, y que escriban textos en los que ellos digan cómo pueden solucionar esas emociones que se presentaron en los textos, y que ellos a su vez digan cómo lo harían ellos mismos. Cabe mencionar que también se hizo un apartado para los docentes en donde estamos apoyándolos en esta actividad. En el proyecto hemos tenido participantes de Costa Rica y Perú. No han sido muchos los que han estado participando, pero sí ha sido significativo. Lo que nosotros hacemos es que una vez que se inscribieron los alumnos, los conformamos en equipos, les avisamos a los maestros involucrados de los diferentes países y hacemos sesiones en las que les informamos a los maestros cómo van a hacer las actividades. Posteriormente, ellos hacen sus actividades de acuerdo a lo que se sugiere dentro del proyecto. El proyecto está dividido en 4 sesiones, y en cada una de las sesiones les estamos presentando, pidiendo que realicen trabajos en los cuales ellos expresan lo que aprenden, lo comparten, y finalmente en una videoconferencia con una servidora es que hacemos esta presentación en Zoom. Como dije, el proyecto está dividido en 4 sesiones, son 8 semanas de colaboración. La sesión 1 es para identificar, que los alumnos identifiquen las emociones a través del arte y la música. Las emociones de los otros, que es la sesión 2, ahí los alumnos a través de cuentos y narraciones están identificando las emociones de los demás. En la 3 ya estamos trabajando con este manejo de las emociones, también a través de algunos casos que le estamos presentando de algunas situaciones que padecen algunos niños en las escuelas o en sus hogares, y ellos tratan de buscarle solución al conflicto en el que están viviendo estos personajes. Cabe mencionar que cada una de estas sesiones lo que estamos haciendo es respaldar los contenidos a través de herramientas en la web, de documentos, videos y otras herramientas en la web para que realicen ellos sus trabajos. Cada fin de sesión ellos realizan un trabajo donde plasman sus aprendizajes y los comparten en la comunidad educativa y también entre los pares o los equipos que se realizaron con los países participantes. Como ya mencioné, también las actividades que están respaldadas para los maestros con documentos que están hablando sobre el conocimiento de sí, de los otros y de los demás, y también se está apoyando con materiales audiovisuales y lecturas. Lamentablemente, por esto de la pandemia, no nos fue posible pues tener muchas evidencias de los trabajos de los alumnos, pero sí pudimos observar en el Padlet de evidencias que el proyecto retomaron las piezas artísticas que se les había propuesto, que ellos habían hecho sus propias obras pictóricas, y con ello pues identificaron estas relaciones que implica las emociones propias, las de los demás, lo que está pasando con su entorno. En esta nueva edición, que es 2020, otoño 2020, estamos implementando todas estas cuestiones de las emociones del COVID-19 y la nueva normalidad, lo que pues estamos pues tratando de que hagan un manejo y una gestión de las emociones en estos momentos de encierro en casa, y bueno, esperamos tener mucho éxito en este nuevo proyecto. Muchas gracias. No sé si tengan alguna pregunta que hacer.
Thank you very much, Maria. Muchas gracias, Maria. If anybody has any questions, Maria was also explaining about during the COVID-19 that this has been a very difficult time and the emotional help that is needed for the students. There wasn't a lot of student work at the moment, but they are hoping in the future that they will be able to share more. If anybody has any questions, thank you very much, Maria, and it's been a great pleasure. Muchas gracias, Maria. Ha sido un
Gracias a ustedes. Buen día.
Buen día.
Y muchas gracias, María, por su presentación de este nuevo proyecto, que es sobre un tema muy importante para los jóvenes en este momento. What I said is thank you so much, Maria, for your presentation of this new project that addresses a topic so important for youth right now. For our next project feature on another new project this year, We Create for You World, we will show a video that was created by its project facilitator, Gintare Rasulevičiūtė from Lithuania. We hope you enjoy it.
Hello from Lithuania. My name is Gintare, and I will try to do my best in coordinating the project We Create for You World. As the world around us comes into contact with obstacles and difficulties, it is important to listen to and spread the opinions of young people to encourage them to discuss their own personal experiences and to get a better understanding of the present and the future. We would like to present you a short description about our project.
This project is a continuation of our previous project, Create for Lithuania, that was dedicated to Lithuania celebrating its 100th year of independence. In the project, students sent us artwork to be put together into a long letter for Lithuania. The art consisted of many different genres and techniques. The whole letter came out to be stick together out of 330 verbs. And now we have a chance to expand this project to a new level and get students from all over the world and share art to the world.
This new project will lead to the creation of a virtual letter book dedicated to the world. Let us write, dedicate, sing, draw or paint, thank, ask, share and spread our thoughts about the things that are important, the things we feel, about problems of today, or the things that worry us.
So we can show love to the world like our friend.
The result of this project will be a virtual letter with which we will surround the earth.
While working together, sharing experiences, ideas, facing problems along the way and solving them, we can learn to grow and find new ways to solve problems more easily and efficiently.
Thank you for deciding to be a part of this project. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know. Thanks for your attention and hope to see you soon. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We send our lives. It sure will make a better day. Just you and me.
Thank you so much to Jintare and her students for sharing their beautiful and inspiring video with us. We have one final project to hear about today, and that is the International Book Club Getting Readers Connected. We have Faye Stump, who joins from the United States and is a retired library media specialist. Faye has been very active in iEARN since she joined several years ago and designed this project. We are very pleased to have her here with us today to share more about it. Faye, the floor is yours in just a moment. You go.
Good morning from Hedgesville, West Virginia. I'm one of the 3 facilitators of the International Book Club. Lindsay from Michigan and Ina from Moldova are eager to welcome you and your students to participate in this project. Reading is so important for a good education. I don't think there's any teacher that could dispute that. And no matter what country you're in or what subject you teach or the age of your students, reading should be included as a daily activity. Reading provides in-depth knowledge. Many books today relate to the UN Sustainable Development Goals, so reading them and engaging in discussions and projects should be relevant to all iEARN teachers and students. We have 4 goals, and they are to promote literacy, to increase awareness of the Sustainable Development Goals, and to deepen understanding of what we read by sharing our knowledge and to develop 21st century skills. Okay, next slide. We have one question that we'd like you to answer at any time during this presentation in the chat box. We would love to see what recommendations you have for your favorite books that connect to the Sustainable Development Goals. So if you think of a book, toss it in there for us to consider. Okay, on the next slide, we highlight that there are different ways to engage your students. You can engage yourselves and your students independently, where your students can post reviews and related projects. You would do this on your own time frame, and you can share what you're reading, get suggestions for reading, and engage in discussions with all members of the International Book Club. Or you can choose to work with a smaller group. Ideally, 3 teachers from 3 different countries could form a group and a book club partnership. Teachers in each group would get to know one another and would plan together what they want their students to read and do, and when and how much time they can devote to it. If you contact a facilitator, we will add a folder in the form for your group to use and any subfolders that you would like. We're available to support you with ideas and help you through tech issues as needed. Just email us and let us know what it is that you need. On the next slide, you will see that we have a suggested book list. Click on the suggested book list link. This is available in the iEARN project forum. You can see that whether you're going to work independently or in partnership, Our suggested book list provides information to help you select books and get started. We have listed them under certain themes, and we provide the title, the author, and the age range. Some of the books have a link to a lesson plan, a very detailed lesson plan, but you don't have to do everything that's in the lesson plan. You can pick and choose what you want to do. Other books have links to online readings. You can even decide on another book that's not in our list and use a template to develop your own lesson plan ideas. We'd be happy then to add that book to our suggested book list. Many books are available in multiple languages. So regardless of whether your students speak English, Arabic, French, Spanish, you can find many of these books online in different languages, or if you're a teacher of a foreign language, then this project is also excellent for you. We have listed books under 4 themes. Here are some examples of books that we have used that deal with war and peace and human rights and racial equity. Again, we strive to include picture books, which are excellent choices for students of all ages. It won't take your students that long to read them, but they'll deliver an important message. They're also excellent for students learning a second language. Okay, on the next slide, you see some examples of books that deal with identity and diversity and sustainable development. The Story of Philomeno is an example of a book that's available in 8 different languages. Our lesson plan includes links to PDF copies that Dr. Reimers has graciously provided us to use. Finally, on the last slide, we give an example of a book that was very popular in a lesson plan that was used by a lot of teachers last year in India, Israel, Moldova, Palestine, and the United States. Each teacher read this picture book to a class or joined a Zoom conference where one person read it to everyone in that Zoom conference. We read Where I'm From poems also as models of showing, not telling, writing using sensory details. So we worked on helping students to improve their own writing. We wrote our own Where I'm From poems, which showed the diversity of the participants, the places we were from, and how we are alike and different. And then we shared our poems in the forum, in exhibitions, in video conferences on Flipgrid, and we converted them to movies and posted them in the forum. In the iEARN, or in the lesson plan that we did entitled, Where You're From, we show some examples of those poems written by other students. So we're real excited to begin this year. It's an excellent project during the time of COVID, so that students can work from home independently on their reading and share their projects, but they can also join students around the world to share what they're reading and what they're learning from their reading. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faye, for such a thoughtful and comprehensive presentation. And thank you to you and your co-facilitators for the important work you do in lighting that spark of a love of reading in our youth today. As we wrap up our hour together, we'd like to take a few moments to address any questions you might have typed in the chat box or that you have now, including any that you might have for our presenters. We're happy to have them take a moment to answer them, or if they're for us, we'll be happy to as well. I've seen a lot of wonderful book suggestions and wonderful comments about our projects this year. So thank you for that. Okay, I see Connie is asking, is there an age group for World of Music? So let me turn on Ishani and Sunita's cameras and microphones so they can answer.
No, there's no age as such defined. It is middle school and post-secondary as well.
Thank you, Ishani. Okay, it looks like we don't have any more at this time, so I will just continue and wrap up here. As we close, we wanted to invite those of you who have not yet joined iEARN to take some quick and easy steps to register today. You just to register, you just visit the link that we'll be sharing in the chat box in a moment and complete the online registration form. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions, and we'll share our contact information in the chat box now as well. We will connect you with the iEARN Center in your country if there is one in your country, or if not, we welcome everyone to join, and we will help you get started. We will be following up with everyone to share the recording and again, information on how to join our global learning community. And last but not least, we would like to thank again our inspiring presenters and all of the iEARN project facilitators for all your hard work and enthusiasm, as well as the students and the teachers who make these projects a huge success. We're very excited to continue another year of global collaboration through iEARN projects. Thank you so much for all of you for joining us, and we wish you so much fruitful collaborating in the year ahead. Thank you all.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Kathy, Lindsay, Maria, muchas gracias por todo. And hope we can continue these projects. And as Kathy said, connect each other, new facilitators, new teachers, new people involved in these programs, connect us all together and make this world a little smaller with iEARN. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, everyone.
Muchas gracias a ustedes. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.